Hello, dear listener, stroke viewer, however this kind of goes out. This is Ben, Heavy Metal Therapy, and I'm really excited for this one. So tonight I'm going to interview Dominik from Aphotic Strain. Am I pronouncing that right, Aphotic Strain?
Aphotic, yeah, I believe. Aphotic Strain, the Aphotic Strain. Yes.
Aphotic Strain, you're the Hungarian death metal band. You've been kicking around for a few years now, isn't it? It's about 5, 6 years you guys been around?
Yeah, kind of. It has an interesting history. So it started out as a project between me and the guitarist.
Yep.
And we had 3 songs. We recorded it. We put it out on YouTube, and it was like only that for a couple of years. We played together in a different band called Blood Crown. It's and there's also another Blood Crown which is still around, and our Blood Crown is it's not around anymore. So I played guitar in that band.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of I started learning these vocals, and we wanted to use it, and we had these 3 songs, and then later on when the band split up and Attila went to another band, they had an issue with their singer, and they kicked him out, and they brought me in and kind of melded these 2 bands together, and the Aphotic Strain went on. It went on with the Aphotic Strain name, and we started the band as it is now. I mean, we lost some members, but that's another thing. Yeah.
And I think this what's quite not unusual for death metal. You guys often sort of sing, especially lyrically, often about sort of horror, sort of terror, blood, guts, yeah, all the good stuff, which is very kind of like death metal. I'm especially interested in kind of that because you're not even the first death metal band to do this. But you've released an album recently called Over the Trenches. Which is about it's about the tabletop game that's come out, isn't it? Which is Trench Crusade. Yeah, I find this really interesting. Like, there's not many genres of music that do songs or even albums that are based on sort of science fiction, horror, or like fantasy. Like, I can think of like Hawkwind doing Elric of Melbourne. I can think of like sort of Bolt Thrower, for instance, doing stuff on
that's what I mentioned.
Yeah, I had that cassette which they released free with White Dwarf. But it seems to be something that's like really, really awesome. And I'm kind of skipping across the genre here, but like death metal, deathcore, like Slaughter to Prevail recently did Bellhite, which is sort of based on the sort of Berserk universe. So you guys decided to deep dive this sort of universe, and it is very death metal, isn't it? It's very grim. It's very dark. Why? Tell us about it. Come on. It's I just find it absolutely fascinating.
Why we chose Trench Crusade?
Yeah. What attracted you to it?
Well, first of all, Mike Francino's artwork, and I've been following Mike for a couple of years before this whole thing came around. And the funny thing that most of the songs on this album, the music was finished before we even decided to write the lyrics about Trench Crusade, except for March of the Anchorite, which was inspired by Trench Crusade, because when I showed Attila the artwork, and these lore pieces, he was like, fueled by diesel and faith, I want to write a song about this, and that's how the March of the Anchorite song came about.
Yeah.
But we were in a creative drought phase, and because we started out as we were kind of writing about these cosmic horror things, themes, and we wanted to kind of keep it like that, but the inspiration just did not come. And when this whole Kickstarter thing but not even when the Kickstarter started. Even before, when the hype started, I was like, maybe what if I write lyrics about something that's inspired by Trench Crusade? And later on, it was like, I want to write about Trench Crusade. And the first Trench Crusade song that was finished, and the lyrics was finished, was Death Commando, which you said you really liked.
I love that, and I should probably sort of add to the listeners, and if you are into tabletop games, especially the grimdark ones, or are the long-suffering partner of someone who is into them, you probably know. But Trench Crusade it's not even a real game yet, is it? It's barely out of beta, and yet it's got phenomenal kind of following. It's a lot of the old school Games Workshop people are working on it, so. I think Andy Chambers has recently joined it, but it's Thomas Pennerin. Yeah, Mike's done the sort of art for it. And it's all based around his art, isn't it? It's a full cross like media kind of art movement in a game, and it's about what if heaven and hell actually fought World War One, and it's the most disgusting and horrendous and grim kind of setting you could possibly imagine, isn't it?
And I'm so happy about it because World War One is not. Um, it's usually always World War Two.
Yeah,
That's the topic of these kind of projects, and the aesthetic of World War One is just so interesting, so unique, because it's still between these. It's so automatic weapons weren't that prevalent in that time. It's still coming out of these the for the previous century. And when the warfare just changed, and the warfare changed with World War One, and it's kind of a transitional phase.
yeah.
And it's really interesting when it's fused with these crusades and these really gruesome body horror, which we can see, especially the Black Grail, the Court of the Seven-Headed Serpent. I believe the first artwork I saw was either the Death Commando or the unit which is called Corpse Guard now with a tick.
Yeah.
But it was some kind of excavator, or I don't know what the name of that artwork was. And I followed Mike for a couple of years, and I always really enjoyed his work. And when the first Kickstarter for those which are the minis, that are the what's the mercenaries now, I believe. Those are mostly the mercenaries, the
Yeah,
communicants, the observer,
and the ammo priest,
and
wasn't it?
yes, the ammo priest.
Which grabbed me. That
Uh,
got me. They had me at that. There's that painting, isn't it, of a really long, deformed person with a gigantic rifle, and they're a
yeah,
monster, aren't they? They're an absolute monster, and they're the good guys, aren't they? They're actually the good guys. This monster is on the side of the church, and it's got like a little priest with like a box of ammunition, isn't it? And that picture had me, Dominic. I was like, yeah, this is my jam now.
yeah. I really like the fusion of these World War One uniforms and the solid helmet
Yeah,
from these medieval helmets, and that's what I really like about the new Antioch faction. These melding of the World War One and the Knights. And I used to do some Buhort for a year, but then I had to move and I couldn't continue.
yeah,
But you know what Buhort is?
yeah. Is that what was that, mate?
Buhort, you know what it is?
No, I don't.
It's it's basically medieval MMA. So you put on
Oh,
this medieval armor and
yeah,
fight with blunt weapons. And I really enjoyed it. I think my knee kind of that's when it went out. But yeah,
yeah,
and I really like these medieval helmets and armor and stuff. And when I saw these new anti-evoke units, it was like perfect.
It is. And why do you think it's so attractive to us? Like I've never really got this. So I've been following things like Warhammer 40,000 since I was a kid. I'd quite a difficult upbringing, but I still found. I remember getting all like the old leaflets and the old little booklets from GW and finding one of those and spending ages just pouring through the pictures and just absorbing all this world that's just like horrendous for everybody, and it's beyond dystopian, but somehow all that horror and all of that just really appeals. Why do you think it does? I'm going a bit psychology here. Mate.
I do have a theory about it, and
Yeah.
by no means I am an authority on it. I've read some studies about this, and also my experience with it, because even when I was a kid, I was always rooting for the dragon in the in the fairy tale.
Yeah, what did he ever do? He was just hanging around.
But I do believe that we are attracted to this because it's challenging, because the culture we're living in is more like these kind of beauty culture, and when we deal with topics like death, suffering, the gruesome things, it's not usually talked about, or maybe in a sensational way when events like this happen in the world. But people are usually quite sheltered when it comes to these gruesome things, and when you um, when you find these kind of artwork or games and stuff like that, and the music also.
Yeah.
First, usually people, I wouldn't say that they don't enjoy it the first time around, but you have to ease into the more hardcore stuff. But it starts somewhere, and I do believe it's because we all have these emotions of fear and disgust and anger and aggression,
Yeah.
and it kind of gives these emotions a shape, and you are in a controlled and safe environment when you are consuming these artworks and music, and it releases it. It you realize that you can deal with these, and it really links into this mental health thing, that you defeat it somehow, and when this catharsis happens, that you challenge yourself, and you get kind of hooked on it, and that's why you're coming back to it, because um, you find the beauty in it. Especially, I have my favorite painter is a Polish painter, and I hope I'm not butchering his name. Is Zdzisław Beksiński, I believe that's his name, and his paintings are grim fucking dark. I'm sorry for saying that, but his paintings are ghastly.
Yeah.
But they have this beautiful quality to it, and just what I said, that these are really tough to deal with feelings, emotions, and the themes. And when you channel it through art, in any kind of art, you kind of have control over it, and learn how to deal with it. And I believe that's sort of kind of the psychological part of it, and when you get more and more used to it, you enjoy it more and more. So I the same thing with horror films.
Yeah.
And when these grimdark things, they kind of dispel this the fear, the disgust. Metal is good for aggression. Kind of you have an outlet with it, and you can channel these emotions, and it's good that if you can. So if you're not burying these emotions, just
No, I think that's a wonderful and very eloquent kind of explanation of it, and it does. I think that's also you talk about metal does the same, isn't it? You are facing something that may be a fear, maybe a concern, maybe something that's alien to us, but something that is still there. That feeling of disgust, that feeling of fear, that feeling of something bad's going to happen, that fear of death, isn't it? Like we're all scared
yeah,
of death. Everyone is afraid of death. I don't care if you say, well, so almost like immersing yourself in it, in that, like you say, that sort of that safe area. It's almost like a VR version, isn't it? In your
yeah,
imagination.
yeah, yeah.
I think that's incredibly eloquently put, and that's almost how I'm very new to death metal. It's only the last year or two that I've really started listening to it, but that it doesn't shy away from anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
And this allows the musician to be as creative as they want to be, because there are no rules like uh, with the music industry stuff, the pop music. And I'm not bad mouthing pop music, because there are a lot of things I really enjoy. I don't just listen to metal, but with metal, and especially death metal, there are no rules. You can just do whatever you want. You can take it to whatever direction you want to take it, and that's what's really intriguing about it. And and the so that's what's really interesting about it, that you can do whatever you want, and be as creative as you want, and you can be dissonant. You can um, incorporate all different kind of samples or different kind of instruments. And we had a choir now, which was a live choir, which it was a lot of fun recording it. And yeah, there are no rules.
Mm.
Just be as it's not even that. Be as happy as you can be, because there are some beautiful and quite melodical death metal songs around. And one of my favorite bands, Artspire,
Yeah.
there are a couple of songs when they have these clean guitar parts, and they're just beautiful. So yeah.
Yeah, I find that sort of. I mean, one of the things that kind of attracted me to also Trench Crusade. I'm gonna link this up to music in a sec. It does have like religious. It doesn't have the religious well, it does have the religious connotations. There's no spiritualism behind it, is it? It's, everything is awful. But because it had this quite religious one, when I was younger, I used to be in. Kate's going to tease me for this. I actually used to be in a choral choir. I used to be a choral singer, and I consider sort of things like Handel's Messiah. The sort of bits like Dies Irae incredibly heavy. I always say one of the heaviest gigs I ever went to was in Cambridge, and it was an organ recital, and I could feel my organs vibrating, and so you've got that religious reverence and damnation, and I think the imagery behind that as well, I think seeps really well into death metal.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure Christian death metal's out there somewhere, but it
I
works. It
think
really,
there are,
really
the
works.
funny thing that there are Christian black metal
The
bands
thrash metal, yeah.
on black metal bands, and I'm really sad that Saboch couldn't come.
Mm,
He's the other singer. I'm the singer and lyricist, and he just joined us, so
yeah,
the two of us can be on stage together, because we really like to play music together.
yeah.
And he really knowledgeable about black metal.
Mm,
And when we talked about the topics you wanted to talk about, the fantasy part, and the
yes.
early black metal bands were heavily inspired by fantasy. So there, on the top of my head, I can mention two bands that are basically named after things from the Lord of the Rings,
Mm,
like Gorgoroth. It's usually not the pretty parts of of Tolkien's world. So yeah.
Oh, there's some grim parts. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And but I